going to start with breath. So let's lift the top of our head toward the ceiling, roll the shoulders back and down, let the shoulders settle away from the ears. We'll turn the chin down slightly and breathe deeply. As you inhale, let your belly expand and slowly let that expansion move all the way up the chest to the collarbone, and then release the air from the collarbone all the way down to the belly. Take several deep breaths here. Take your time. Continue to breathe deeply. I just wanted to remind you that I'm just the guide through these yoga poses. Ultimately, you need to listen to your body, so please do that. Your body will tell you if it's not okay to do something by giving you pain, so make sure that you're listening very closely to what your body says. So again, I'm just the guide, and your body will tell you whether the moves are okay or whether you should back off. From here, let's bring the arms to the sides, and we're going to add some movement with our breath. So let's inhale and float the arms up to the sides, just shoulder level, and then exhale and float them down. Inhale, sides, and exhale down. Inhale, sides, and exhale down. We're going to add a rotation here, so inhale, arms to the side. Let's rotate the palms to face upward. Beautiful. And then the next inhalation will bring the arms overhead. As you bring the arms overhead, make sure your shoulders are relaxed away from your ears. So we're not trying to bring those shoulders up toward the ears. If we do, we're ending up in this position. And this is a position of tension. So we want to make sure those shoulders stay down. Let's exhale and bring those arms down. Inhale, sides. Exhale, rotate up. Inhale, arms overhead, shoulders down. Exhale, arms down. Beautiful. Inhale, sides. Exhale, rotate. Inhale, overhead. Exhale, arms all the way down. Now let's inhale, and we'll bring the arms all the way up, just rotating the palms midway, and then exhale, bringing the arms all the way down. Beautiful. Inhale, arms up, shoulders down. Exhale, arms down. Inhale, arms up, shoulders down. Exhale, arms down. Beautiful. Now we're going to bring the arms all the way up, and then we're going to exhale and rotate, bringing the arms down. Inhale, arms up and move to center. Exhale, rotate, arms down. So here's the inhale, and here's the exhale. Here's the inhale, and here's the exhale. Let's do one more set of these. Inhale, arms up, and then we're going to exhale and bring the arms down to the sides. Let's tuck our legs behind us here, and we're going to come onto all fours. So heels of the hands right under the shoulders and the knees right under the hips. We don't want to be reaching out here, and we don't want the arms tucked too far back. We're going to keep a softness to the elbows and push the shoulders away from the ears. We're going to inhale and lift our tail and our head, coming into our cow pose. Then we'll take the exhalation and stretch into cat. So inhale to cow, dropping the belly. Exhale, cat, lifting up the back. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Keep those elbows soft. Keep the shoulders away from the ears. Again. Let's do one more. Stretch that back and drop that belly. And then we're going to come to a flatter back here. We're going to tuck the toes under, but just barely here. So not too far. Tuck them under just barely. We're going to lift up here, and we're going to push away from our hands and into our heels.
So the direction we're working toward is to get the heels on the floor and really tip the pelvis forward, lifting the tailbone and the sit bones up behind us. Beautiful. For some people, especially when they're first starting out, this is too much of a stretch for the back of the legs. So go ahead and bend the knees a little bit and lift the heels, but keep that pelvis tilted forward. Beautiful. And again, move in the direction of dropping the heels. All right, we're going to look up toward our hands, and we're going to walk our feet up toward the front end of our mat. From here, take a moment to let your head, your torso hang forward from your hips. Bring the balance even from the front to the back of the foot and from side to side. Beautiful. Little softness to the knees. Make sure you're not locking your joints here. And then when you're ready, inhale and roll up slowly. Take your time. We're going to roll the shoulders back and down. Beautiful. So we'll run through sun salutation next. If you have a sun salutation you like better than mine, you can go ahead and do yours. Otherwise, I'll just coach you through my sun salutation. Toes are facing directly forward, shoulders are back and down. We're in mountain pose, activating the body so top of the head reaches up toward the floor. We're standing nice and tall here, keeping a softness to the knees. We'll inhale and we'll reach up and back with those arms, opening up the front body. Exhale, fold in half, bringing your hands to the floor and releasing your head and neck. Inhale and step back with your right foot. And we're going to soften the hips here, drop the knee if you have time, and look up toward the ceiling. Exhale, step the left foot back and reach into your downward dog. Inhale, come forward to plank or top of the push-up. Make sure here that the body is nice and activated. Soft elbows, shoulders away from the ears, core muscles working, nice straight line from the shoulders through the hips to the ankles. From here, we'll drop the knees and we'll bend the elbows. So it's knees, chest, and chin. Then inhale and come forward with the head coming into cobra. Now let's back up for a moment. In cobra, the legs are active, so the knees are not going to touch. Here, my legs are relaxed. Here, I've just activated the legs so the knees come up off the floor, just a little bit. We want to make sure that we keep the elbows tucked for cobra, because if we bring the elbows wide, sometimes that shoves the shoulders up toward our ears. So keep the elbows tucked in toward the body. Pull the belly button toward the spine and lift up here. Chest should feel open, shoulders should feel down, away from the ears here. So that's our cobra. Let's tuck the toes under. We're going to lift to our downward dog. Beautiful. And then we're going to step forward with the right foot. So when we step forward and when we step back in our lunge pose in yoga, we need to get that ankle right below the knee. If you're only stepping up to here and that knee keeps coming over the toe, it's going to be a little stressful for the knee. So if that big step doesn't work for you, you can bring the arm around and pull the leg forward, or you can drop the knees and swing the leg into place. If it doesn't work for you, just walk your feet up. No worries. So let's step that left foot up, coming into our fold. Inhale, arms up and back. Exhale, mountain. Again, inhale, reach. Exhale, fold. Inhale, step left this time into your lunge, drop the knee and look up. Exhale, step right, downward dog. Move forward to plank. Drop the knees, bring the chest and chin down. Inhale, lift the head. Exhale, lift the hips. Inhale, step forward, left. Exhale, step forward, right. Inhale, arms up and back. Exhale, mountain. Let's go through that 2 more times. So inhale, reach and open front body. Exhale, fold, bringing your hands to the floor. Bend your knees if you need to. Inhale, step back right, lunge. Exhale, step back left, downward dog. Move forward to plank. Lower knees, chest and chin. Lift the head. Lift the hips. Step forward right to lunge. Step forward left to fold. Inhale, arms up and back. Exhale, mountain. 1 more time. Reach, fold. Step left. Step right. Beautiful. Move forward into plank. Knees, chest and chin, elbows close. Inhale, cobra, open chest, shoulders down. Exhale, downward dog. Beautiful. Step forward left to lunge. Step forward right to fold. Inhale, arms up and back. Exhale, mountain. All right, so we've gotten through our warm up, sun salutation, and now we'll move into our poses. So we're gonna start with our feet right under our hips, toes splayed wide, feet facing forward. We'll roll the shoulders back and down, and we'll bring the hands to prayer, heart center. Gentle pressure on the hands here to strengthen and stretch the wrists, so shoulders back and down. Now we're going to soften our knees and bring our seat behind us. So we're coming into awkward chair here. We want to make sure that the knees stay back behind to the toes, so your weight probably will rock into your heels, and that's okay. You can use your toes to grab onto the mat if you'd like. Take a couple of deep breaths here. Excellent. Now we're going to add a rotation. So we're just going to take one elbow and bring it to the knee, and we're going to push down with the top hand so that we can rotate the shoulders, looking over your shoulder toward the ceiling. Try to keep your hips level. Sometimes the hips rotate with this, so work on keeping them level. Come in as deeply into the rotation as it works for you. Let's do a couple more breaths here. Let's inhale to center, and then we're just going to come to the other side. So other elbow to knee, push down on the hand, rotate the shoulder toward the ceiling, and turn your gaze up toward the ceiling. Breathe deeply. Beautiful. Let's inhale to center and up. We're going to use our strap for the next couple poses, so please go ahead and grab your strap or whatever you have that's similar to a strap. Maybe you're using your dog's leash. We're going to take the strap and bring it behind our backs. We're going to hold the strap about hip width apart here with the strap behind the back, standing nice and tall in our mountain pose. Don't lock your knees, but tighten up your thighs. Keep the chest lifted. Let's inhale and lift those arms behind us as high as we can. And then exhale and bring them down. Inhale, lift. Exhale, down. Beautiful. Pay attention to the sensation in the upper body as you lift and lower with your breath. You're not looking for a certain range of motion, except for that you want to stay in pain-free range of motion. So we're just looking to lift as high as you can
Staying in that pain-free range of motion. Beautiful. Let's do one more lift lower. Inhale and exhale. Now let's take the strap in front, and again, we're gonna hold it about hip width apart. Toes facing forward, we'll roll the shoulders back and down. Keep your chest lifted, but we're not gonna try to open the chest here. We're just gonna try to keep rib cage, hip bone distance in a neutral spine position. So nice and tall here. Pull the abdominal wall in. We're gonna inhale and bring that strap overhead. Now here, for some of us, it only comes right here in front of the forehead. For some of us, it can come right over the body, and for some of us, it can move behind the head. Again, though, we don't want to move it behind the head if it makes us lose our neutral spine position. So we want to keep that neutral spine position. And then from here, with the arms overhead, make sure you're relaxing the shoulders away from the ears. And we're going to do a side-to-side lean. So big inhale here. As you exhale, move to one side. Inhale up. Exhale, move to the other side. Inhale up. Exhale, side. Inhale up. Exhale, side. And inhale up. Again. Beautiful. Let's go ahead and release the arms down, and we will put that strap down. We're going to step into our 5-point star next. So with one foot at the front end of your mat, you'll bring the other foot behind it, facing the long end of the mat. So front foot facing short end of the mat, back foot facing the long end of the mat. We want to make sure that we're rotating the hips toward that long end of the mat, but as you do so, make sure that your front knee here is facing forward, or that it stays on top of the leg. If you go too far, then the knee starts to rotate inwards. You want to make sure it stays on top of the leg. We are going to keep the shoulders aligned right over the hips. Let's pull our belly in so that we can keep our tail behind us pointed down. Arms are wide here, and I'm going to have you gaze over the side here that the toe is pointed toward the short end of the mat. And then we're going to exhale and bring that knee over the ankle, and then inhale and come up. If you need more activation, just bring the legs a little further apart. So it's exhale and inhale. Exhale and inhale. As you're exhaling and bringing that knee over the ankle, make sure that it stays over the ankle. Beautiful. Now, let's bring it here and hold. Relax the shoulders down. Make sure the tailbone is pointed downward. Gazing over those front fingertips. Breathing. Want to make sure that back leg is straight, but do not lock the knee. Beautiful. One more deep breath here. Big inhale. And then as you exhale, straighten the leg and bring the arms down. We're going to take this toe and turn it inward. So we'll have both toes facing inward a little bit. Another way to say that is the heels are going to be wider than the toes here. So toes are just, again, facing inward a little bit. We're going to fold forward in the hips, so we're not going to round the back. We're going to leave the space between the rib cage and the hip bone the same. Do not lock your knees. Let's pull our thighs up toward our hips here, tightening the thighs, pulling the abdominal wall in, and then bringing the hips forward as we fold forward. Beautiful. If you can touch the floor, you can go ahead and put your hands on the floor. If this is causing you pain and you need to back yourself off, then go ahead and add a block. I also, as an example, have a jar of applesauce. So if you don't have a block, you can find something that will work for you here. So let's bring the head in natural alignment with the spine and tip the pelvis forward, working on that forward fold of the pelvis. So as we continue to hold this position, you might find your body relaxing in the stretched position, and you might be able to tip the pelvis more forward and drop the torso down more. Again, you want to go into the largest range of motion available to you where you are still pain-free. And that doesn't mean we're not activating the muscles. We certainly are activating the muscles, but we do not want to put ourselves into a position of pain. Breathe deeply here. Bring the balance equally to the front and back of your foot. Keep your knees soft. Keep reaching sit bones and tailbone up toward the ceiling. Excellent. Now, let's come up slowly. We're going to come up halfway. Take a nice, big, deep breath, and then come up all the rest of the way, rolling the shoulders back and down. We'll turn the other toe outward here, and the back leg stays straight, but the knee is soft. We'll bring the arms up, but keep the shoulders relaxed down. Remember that you want to keep your knee on the top of your leg. Don't let it roll forward. Keep it up on top here. Shoulders aligned over the hips, and then let's soften that knee and then come back up. Beautiful. If you can, gaze over your fingertips on that bending knee side. Beautiful. Let's keep going here, moving as deeply into the pose as your body will allow. And then from here, we're going to hold this one, making sure the front knee is right over the ankle, shoulders back and down, tailbone pointing toward the floor. Breathe deeply. Excellent. Let's inhale and we'll straighten the leg. Exhale, drop the hands, and we'll turn that foot forward. Let's go ahead and step the legs together here, and we're going to move to the front end of our mat here. So on the front end of the mat, let's go ahead and step back with our right foot. So we've got the right foot stepped back, and we're coming into a lunge here. We're going to soften down and bring the knee down into the lunge, but we want to keep pushing the hips forward. Now, depending on your floor surface here, this might be a little rough on the knee. So whatever's more comfortable for you with that back foot. If you like to keep the toe tucked under, because that's more comfortable on the kneecap, you can. Or if you'd rather point the toe, you can. If you've got an extra little hand towel around, maybe you want to put that under your knee. So we are looking here, for more of a triangle shape here with the legs than a square shape. So make sure that you're letting those hips come forward. Beautiful. Feeling it maybe right in here in that hip flexor. So we've got the left leg forward. We're going to bring the right elbow to the knee, and then we're going to bring the hands to prayer, and we'll pull those hands in toward the chest so that it can help us to rotate in this position. As you come into this position, try not to back off here. Let those hips go. Turn your gaze behind you and breathe deeply. Let's go ahead and bring ourselves up here. And then we're gonna take the leg that was benched, the left leg here, and we're gonna bring it out to the side. But let me turn so that I can keep an eye on you, and you can keep an eye on me. So we still have that left knee down on the cushion or the hand towel. And then we're coming here, stacking our body right over this leg. And we're gonna turn this foot out and we're gonna bend the leg just enough so that we can have the whole foot on the floor. We'll bring the arms out here and we're gonna exhale and drive into that leg. Inhale, coming back to stack the body right over the leg. Exhale and inhale. Beautiful. Exhale and inhale. Exhale and inhale. This time as we exhale and come into the pose, we're going to hold it and let's work on refining the position here. So again, front knee is right over the ankle, shoulders are down, chest is lifted, but we're not opening up the ribcage hip bone window too much. We want to make sure that that stays neutral. And we're going to gaze over the left fingertips. Beautiful. Now from here, let's take this right hand, this back hand, and we're going to reach it toward the floor. Beautiful. So let's inhale all the way up. Exhale, reach that hand toward the floor. Inhale up. Exhale, reach. Inhale up. Exhale, twist and reach. Beautiful. Inhale up. Exhale, reach. Let's go one more time. Inhale up and exhale, reach. Arms are up here, shoulders back and down. Fantastic. All right, so now we're gonna move away from this. So we're gonna tip to the side here and bring the hands to the floor. Let's straighten out that bent leg, turning the toe to face forward. Beautiful. And we're working on getting this leg right under us. So you might need to pick yourself up so that the leg is upright here. Hand right under the shoulder. Let's reach the other hand up toward the ceiling. We're gonna sit into this just a little bit, and then we're gonna push our hips forward. Sit into it, and then push the hips forward. Sit and push. Sit and push. One more time. Go ahead and sit into it a little bit and then push and then hold the hips here, pushing them forward. Let's take that top arm here and reach it toward the floor. And then we're going to inhale and reach the arm all the way up and back. Whatever range of motion that's available to you, pain-free. The inhale is our opening, and the exhale is our closing. Inhale and exhale. Let's do 2 more. Beautiful. Now, the arm might be behind the body here, so let's get it right over the shoulder. And we're going to turn it so the thumb is behind us, and we're looking at the palm of our hand. And then we're just going to move that arm over our heads. Turn your gaze up toward the ceiling under your arm to help keep that shoulder back. Breathe. Beautiful. Let's bring that arm up, and then we'll lift ourselves up to a kneeling position. And then we're going to work the same on the other side. So you can start on the other end of your mat, or you can just start on the same end of your mat and step back with the other foot. From here, let's go ahead and step back with our left foot into our lunge.
Beautiful. And then we'll bring that knee down, and again, push the hips forward. We want the knee aligned over the ankle on that right side. We're gonna let those hips go. Whatever's more comfortable for the kneecap here, either toe tucked under or go ahead and point the toe, whatever is working for you today. We have the right leg forward this time, so we're gonna lift up here without moving back. Keep those hips forward. Bring left elbow to knee, hands to prayer, and then draw those hands into the chest to help with your rotation. Beautiful. Breathe. If you can, gaze over your shoulder behind you. Beautiful. Let's release the twist here. We'll bring the hands to the floor and we'll ease our hips back. So we're going to keep the left knee on our padding or on the floor here, and we'll extend the right leg wide to the side. And again, I'm rotating a little bit here so that I can show you from the front. So we're upright here, making a straight line through the leg, through that side of our body. We're going to turn the other leg outward, so the knee and the toe point to the short end of the mat here. We're just bending the knee enough here so that we can get the whole foot on the floor. Arms are going to go wide here. Let's exhale and sink into it, and then inhale and come up. Exhale and inhale. Exhale and inhale. Exhale and inhale. Now let's exhale here, inhale here, and then this time let's hold it. So we're coming into this position, stretching out here, again, working with your body, asking your body if everything's okay here. Want to make sure that the tail is pointed down, so don't let this get out from underneath you. Go ahead and push those hips forward. We're going to take that back left arm and reach toward the floor. So this is exhale and inhale. Exhale and inhale. Exhale and inhale. Exhale and inhale. Beautiful. One more time. And then let's release the arms here. We're going to extend that left arm out, and we're going to hinge over here. We want the hips right over that knee here, hand on the floor right under the shoulder. If you need to add a block under your hand, please go ahead. And then the top leg here is straight, toe pointing toward the front of the room here. How you doing? All right, let's go ahead and extend that top arm up toward the ceiling. We're going to let ourselves sit into this a little bit, and then we're going to push the hips forward. Go ahead and sit and push. Sit and push. Sit and push forward. One more time. Sit, push forward. So holding on to this push forward, let's take that top arm and we're going to turn and reach it toward the floor, and then inhale and bring it up and back if you can. Exhale, bringing it down toward the floor. Inhale, up and back. Exhale, down toward the floor. Inhale, up and back. Beautiful. Last time, right here. Now, we'll bring that hand right over the shoulder, and then we're going to turn it so that we're looking at the palm of the hand. The thumb is pointing behind us, and then we'll bring that arm right next to the head here, stretching through side body. Go ahead and gaze toward the ceiling. It'll help keep the top shoulder back, the shoulder stacked. Breathe. Let's go ahead and bring that arm over the body, and we're going to bring ourselves upright. Let's come onto our knees, and then we'll swing those legs around and have a seat. We're going to bring the feet to the floor here. Take a moment to take your extra flesh out of the way. We'll lift up nice and tall here, and then we're just going to pick up one leg and bring it to the opposite knee here. So we've got a nice stable support here underneath. For some of us, holding this position gets into the hips enough. As you bring this leg up, let me turn sideways so you can see what I'm talking about. As you bring this leg up, it might make your posture a little poor here. So I'm going to make sure that we come back into this position. It's okay to get support behind you if that helps you lift your chest and come into a neutral spine position. And then from here, we want to move the shin toward the chest. So you can do that in a couple ways. One thing you can do is to bring the support leg in closer here. Another thing that you can do is with your hands behind and your chest lifted, push your body forward toward that shin. So best posture, lifting up through the top of the head, breathing deeply so you can let that hip release. Excellent. Now, let's go ahead and drop that leg, the support leg, and make it straight. We'll take the other knee and we'll invite it up toward the ceiling. We're going to pull that leg in as close as possible. We want the whole foot on the floor across the leg. If the foot doesn't come all the way to the floor, if it seems like it's out here a little bit, then go ahead and uncross the leg and put the whole foot on the floor on the inside of the leg. But if you can, go ahead and cross. We're going to sit up nice and tall, bringing the head and shoulders over the hips. With the straight leg, keep it extended, point your toes up toward the ceiling and lengthen through the heel. And then we're going to bring the opposite shoulder toward the knee. So moving that shoulder toward the knee, you can wrap the arm around the leg, either putting it in the bend of the leg or bringing it past the leg. Staying upright here. There is a tendency in this position to lean away from the leg, so try to counteract that, pulling the leg or gathering the leg into the opposite armpit and rotating the shoulders as far as they'll go. Breathe deeply here. Turn your gaze over your back shoulder, and you can always use your other hand for support here, but make sure that you're not shoving your shoulder up toward your ear. So you want to keep that shoulder relaxed away from the ear. You might find that as you exhale and there's no air in the lungs, you might be able to move a little deeper into the pose. Your inhalation might take a little bit of that away because the lungs, the air in the lungs need that space. But then as you exhale, you might again try to deepen the pose. Beautiful. Let's inhale to center, and then we're going to uncross the legs, and we're going to do the same on the other side. So starting with our feet flat on the floor, extra flesh out of the way, we are going to take the other leg, I hope this is the other leg, and bring it ankle to knee, sit up nice and tall. So again, Don't bring rib cage toward the hip bone. Keep that space, shoulders down here. Move the leg, the shin, toward the chest by either pulling that leg in or pushing yourself forward with your support from behind. Top of the head reaching up toward the ceiling and breathing deeply here. Beautiful. Let's go ahead and straighten out that leg. Again, we're going to invite the knee up toward the ceiling, foot flat on the floor. If that doesn't work, then go ahead and just invite the leg, the foot to the inside of the opposite thigh. So crossed or uncrossed, whatever is working for you today. Lift up tall here, and then we're going to turn into this knee. So hands can go on the opposite side of the knee to pull the knee into the armpit, or you can put it in the bend of your elbow, or some people can easily reach the elbow pass. So again, we want to stay tall, we want to keep the head and shoulders aligned over the hips, and turn the gaze behind us. Keep that straight leg active, push through the heel, breathe deeply. Let's inhale to center here. So I'm going to have you tuck your legs around behind you and come to lay on your belly. We'll bring the elbows right under the shoulders with the forearms parallel with each other. The legs are extended behind us, toes pointed, and relax the legs into the floor, and then go ahead and tighten the thighs up just enough to lift the knees up off the floor. Push your shoulders back and down, opening the chest a little bit here, and let the hips settle into the floor. Top of the head reaching up toward the ceiling. Breathe deeply. Notice as you inhale and your belly expands, you'll feel your belly push up against the floor, and as you exhale, the belly will move a little bit away from the floor. Beautiful. Now we're going to move our hands back so that they're right where our elbows were, right next to the chest here. We're going to push ourselves up onto all fours. I'll turn sideways so you can see what's happening here. And then we're going to ease our hips back toward our heels, and with the arms extended, just reach them out as far as they'll go, and let the forehead rest on the floor. If your forehead does not rest on the floor easily, then you can rest your forehead on a blanket or your block or a towel or a pillow. Just relaxing and letting yourself go here. You might notice in this position as you try to breathe deeply, the rib cage tries to expand into the thighs, and it becomes a little difficult to let that belly expand with the inhalation. If that's happening to you, then go ahead and think about moving the breath into the back and letting that back expand with the inhalation. Beautiful. Let's inhale, and we're going to come onto all fours. We'll cross the legs and sit through, or swing the legs around if that works for you. We're going to bring the feet together here, knees pointed up toward the ceiling, and then we're just going to let the knees fall wide and rest the bottoms of the feet or the soles of the feet against each other. We're going to recline with this, and as you recline, you might move away from your feet a little bit. So if you need to pull your feet in a little bit, go ahead and do that. So we're going to recline here and let the legs fall wide. Again, in this pose, just like any other pose. If you need support to stay away from pain, then go ahead and get the support. So you might take a block and put it under your thigh if you need to pull those knees up a little bit, or you can take pillows or a rolled up towel and bring that under the leg. Now, what we're going to do with our arms here is a little bit different than usual. We're going to hold on to our elbows, and we're going to bring those arms overhead here and try to relax into the floor. Breathe deeply and notice if there's any tension in the body, and try to relax away from that tension. Now let's bring the arms over our chest, and we're just going to switch which arm is on top. So just flip the arms here and bring the arms back overhead. Breathing deeply into the belly, letting the belly rise toward the ceiling with the inhalation, and letting it float toward the floor with the exhalation. Let's do 2 more deep breaths. Excellent. Inhale and bring those arms over the chest, and then we're going to open the hands and bring them up toward the ceiling, dropping the hands somewhere next to the hips, softened fingertips curled over. So sometimes as we put ourselves down here, the shoulder blades don't feel right on the floor. You might need to lift up your upper back and flatten those shoulder blades out. And then we'll invite the knees toward the ceiling and then extend the legs one at a time into our relaxation pose. Go ahead and let your toes fall wide. Turn your gaze up toward the ceiling. After you get the position of the pose, please feel free to close your eyes and relax here. Breathe deeply and let your body soften into the floor. Take your time. Notice the flow of your breath. The relaxation at the end of yoga is extremely important. As we come through our poses, we loosen the tensions and toxins in our body, and as we relax at the end, we fully release those tensions and toxins. So go ahead and think of your exhalation, releasing those tensions, the toxins, any kind of stress. Use your inhalation to breathe in energy and relaxation, light and peace. Beautiful. Continue to breathe deeply and then start to move away from controlling your breath and simply watch your body breathe. So eyes closed, notice the flow of air through your nostrils or the expansion of the belly. Notice the exhalation, pressure against the sinuses. Notice your body slowing down, relaxing, softening, and releasing. Today's meditation is called Remember the Sun. There are times when gloom or darkness causes us to momentarily lose sight of the light. Although it is at these times when the thought of the sun can help us. Its warm, glowing rays brighten even our thoughts. And it's good to remember that despite appearances, the sun is shining right now. We may not be able to see it at this very moment, but if clouds block our view, they are only filtering the sun's light temporarily. If darkness has fallen, we know that the sun is still shining this very moment somewhere not too far away. And it's only a matter of time before it will shine on us again. When we remember that the sun is still shining, we know that things are still in motion in the universe. Even if life feels like it's at a standstill, sometimes all we need to do is have faith and wait for a time where everything is in its place. Or we can choose to follow the cues of the sun and continue to do our work and shining our light, even when we can't yet see the results. In doing so, we exercise our patience, making sure that we are prepared when opportunity knocks and all other elements are in their right and perfect place. The sun also reminds us that our own shining truth is never extinguished. Our light shines within us at all times, no matter what else is going on around us. Though the sun gives us daily proof of its existence, sometimes our belief in our own light requires more time. If we think back, however, we can find moments when it showed itself and trust that we will see it again. Like the sun, our light is the energy that connects us to the movements of the universe and the cycles of life, and it is present at all times, whether we feel that glow or not. So, from your reclined position here, if you'd like, give yourself a full body stretch. When you feel ready, gather your knees toward your chest, and I'm going to have you roll over onto your right side. Go ahead and support your head with your right arm. Beautiful. Take all the time that you need here. When you feel ready, push yourself up to a seated position. Legs can be extended or out in front. Lift the top of the head up over the hips, roll the shoulders back and down. Take a moment to thank your body for working with you today. I'd also like to take this moment to thank you for spending some of your time with me today. Namaste.